I'm Maxim Rancout-Grenier. I'm the general manager at LG Cloutier, and we are a manufacturer of all metal parts. So we do all kind of process from laser cutting, water cutting, wire cutting, machining, turning, welding, assembly, small part and big part. We do all kind of stuff. As long as it's in metal, we touch pretty much everything. We were trying to find a solution to be able to quote big assemblies. And when I'm talking about big assemblies, it's an assembly that could be assembled by hands, welded by other for other parts, and it's around 150 to 200 parts within one assembly. The challenge with that is to be able to identify every part, every component, every hardware that we needed to assemble that and being able to make a just price. But we already know that our customer wanted the quote on 24, 48 hours, maximum a week. But every time we had the challenge to deliver that quote in the time frame that the customer was wanted. Now, what happened then is we were trying to deliver the quote, took 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then most of the time we either lost the quote due to time or tried to negotiate, and it was harder than it needed to be. With the integration of paperless that we did a year and a half, almost a year and a half, we were able to successfully quote most of those things within 48 hours. Setting up the quote, which I'm going to show you how to do and how we do it, but with a smaller assembly, is a lot easier. We still need to fine tune some detail, but we save up a lot of time, and we successfully reply and apply to more quotes every day that we did in the past before paperless. So if I start a quote, for example, most of the time what we do with our customer is that they send an email from our quoting email, and then Paperless Part take that email and create a quote for us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a quote manually. I'm going to insert the file as if it was linked from an email, and that's how Paperless proceed with the email from our customer. So if I create a quote right quick, and I'm gonna take my files and just drop it off when we want to quote a simple quote. When inside the email, the customer tells us what quantity they need. It's already pre-filled. I'm just going to take myself right quick and then create the item. So most of the time when we receive an email, it starts off like this. We've got a quote. All the parts are already processed on the side. As you see, the part is already processed. We'll be able to take a look at it, and we see that we created the quote, or it's going to tell us that the contact, the customer is already going to be pre-filled, the RFQ number, if there's one, everything in there, paperless, already complete. When we take a look at the quote, what's good for us is most of the data can be pre-filled by paperless. Paperless can find all those information within the CAD that has been inserted. I know I didn't mention it, but most of the time we are using CAD when quoting with our customer. Another good thing is if there's a question about the CAD at that point, it's easy even if the person doesn't have a CAD tool on its computer. It's easy for them to be able to take a look at the CAD and identify if there's a part that will be problematic, or see the dimension if it fits on all the machine that we currently have. From there, as you see, like I said, it's going to be a small assembly. The customer told us a quantity of 10, 50, and 100, and then we can go deeper down inside each of the component that we receive. So what we can do there, we have made during the integration our own processes for our own machine, and it it's used for us to be able to um, more precisely uh, mark up a price and to make the quote a little bit easier. For that example, I know I'm going to cut that part with a normal laser, and I know that this part is a steel. Let me it 10, 11. When the drawing is of more quality and has more detail inside the drawing, sometimes paperless parts can identify the material for you. Now, maybe my example wasn't the best one at this point, so I needed to select the material, but it can propose sometime the material. Depends on the quality and all the detail that has within the CAD or the supporting file that we can drop inside the quote. For this example, I'm going to just go to each part. They are all the same material. I'm going to select the process for each. It pre-fills information because it suggests you that uh, it's the same process. It suggests you that it should be the same material. So it goes ahead and make your life easier. So if I go to the first part again, first part, yeah. One thing that helps us save a lot of money and helps us quote more accurately is the nesting module. Since it's all the same material, I'll be able to prepare a nesting. I don't need the grain direction for those parts. It doesn't matter. Generate a nest. But at this point, we already know what's the dimension of the sheet if I want to optimize my sheet for any purposes. I don't want 60 on the width. I want a 48. I'm going to save a little bit on the nest. And that's pretty much what I'm going to quote. That's pretty much what I'm going to be using for my production at this point. So everything suggested. The quantity can be optimized also for the customer if need be. Then, as I said, the second thing I take a look is what's the step I'm going to use to be able to make the part. Like I said, it's going to be a laser cutted part. It's going to be a folded part. We'll see that the of the part it's four small folded part that goes inside one assembly that's going to be welded. So I need to program that part. I need to put it on the laser. I need to make the hole maybe. So it's suggested. It's a suggestion. That's what we have done to suggest the quarter that it could be something he needs. And I need to smooth the material, fold the material, and then inspect. Now, for sure, probably that it's out of bound on that. So what I'm gonna do, I know it's not gonna take an hour for that. Most of the time, it's a minute per part. It's not something that's a big deal. So I'm gonna change it, and it's wanted. That's what I wanted it to do. I wanted to have something that needed to be changed so that I can show you that paperless, with the process that we've made, it calculates some of the data. And if something appears to be not the reality, even if we calculate everything, and most of the time it's a good thing, to be honest. But if something is off, you can always go inside the detail of the part, change it. And at that point, what it does, it shows you clearly something made a change there. Was we calculated 60 minutes, which is off, and we know he made the change, who made the change, everything is tracked, everything is clear. Another way that you can change the runtime instead of opening all the details, you can just enter the field, write the number that you want, hit enter. It's going to still write up that you have changed the data, and then it calculates everything at the same time. So back to the assembly part. Still not done. We still need to assemble everything. This time is not going to be something that is cut with the laser. It's going to be something that we weld with MIG, still those parts. So it knows as I change the process. Okay, we will need to take our method teams to take a look at it, make sure that we are prepared. Do we need a jig? Do we need something? That's my internal process that I want to figure out. It's not something I'm going to sell. I might add something to the price at that point. It's not something I'm going to sell, but I want to have the detail inside Genius afterward. And everything to prepare the material, the welding. Not enough detail at that point, probably that the CAD weren't good at this point, so I know I can change it, like we discussed, 10 minutes to be able to weld it. I know it's not going to be manual, it's going to be with the MIG, so I can move an operation at that point, and still some time to inspect the part. At this point, what's the bum of my part? It's the three part that I need with the quantity that they need. Then once you're done with it, you have your markup, you have your unit price. You might need painting process. It's not the case in this part, but I could add up a painting process at this time, and I could feed my customer with some lead time. It calculated some lead time. I could add it and other lead time. I could calculate an expedite, but what would be the markup to the expedite so that the customers knows that he can have the part faster, but it's not gonna be cheaper. And then everything is ready for the customer to be able to give the number to the customer. Now, if we go to the quote, that's the best part of paperless parts. When you give off the quote to the customer, I'm going to preview it. It's not something I'm going to send to the customer, but I'm going to preview it so that you guys can all appreciate that. So when you share the quote to your customer, it's gonna be appearing like this most likely. Sure, there's not gonna be like a preview quote but you're gonna have your quote number, who prepared the quote, and everything. And one thing that our customer like a lot with that, they can see their part, they can see all the detail, they can see all their numbers, they can view it, they can select the price, they see everything, and then they can go into a detail to make sure that uh, everything was quoted accordingly to what they ask. So that's and all. Now that's just one part, but when you have like 100 part, or you have a more component, they can clearly see, okay, that's not just a number with a price. That's my part. That's what I see, and I can move, and I appreciate. They appreciate all the visual of what paperless give. Another thing is what we LG Cloutier have done in collaboration with Paperless Parts and Genius. I'm not gonna hit the button because it sends email also to the customer. But once we are done with the quote, when we finalize the quote, it then transfer back to our Genius ERP system, and that process saves us a lot of time. When because remember when I discussed it, it could be an assembly of 150 part, 200 part. So what the customer is going to see is their big assembly. They select one line. Okay, good. I like the price of 2 or 7, whatever, not matter. But for us, what it created is the entire BOM, the entire process that was needed to be able to make that part. So if I go quickly inside Genius, I've got my part. Remember, there's a 4-plate beam support SE. The number is already transferred inside Genius. We made a process so that all the files were transferred also. And as discussed, we have the 3 components, the ratio that they were needed for the assembly, program, cut, dibber, and then folded, all 3 parts. So everything's in there. Everything is prepared to be able to do everything. Everything was transferred from Paperless Part to Genius. Everything needed from Genius to work was done. And when the quote is finalized, it also creates an order. It creates an order with the quote in the name, and then create all the bumps. Transfer the price list, transfer everything. So from there, you can start. You're almost ready to produce. That's pretty much it for Genius at that point. Everything's transferred and ready to go. My profession, I'm a general manager. I act as a general manager, but my profession was an IT, and I'm a programmer. And when we did all the integration with Paperless Part, there was a awesome team, an awesome support, and everything was done so quick. It was incredible. Never did an integration that worked flawlessly like this. They came here, we worked as a team, and it worked like a charm. The integration saves us a lot of time, and everything. What my sales team says about Genius is everything is easy to read, it's visual, it's easy to understand, and it continues to evolve, and it goes in the right direction. One of the things I always tell them is my president works in the sales. He always says, I won't come back. I'll never come back from paper. Once I say tasted Paperless Parts, it's hard to come from that. It's so easier. Even the customer, they don't really want another like paper quote with nothing, no detail. They really appreciate all the detail, the pictures. It's a small detail, but they do appreciate it. And my president always says to me, I won't come back from that. It's done. We're in this adventure forever.